So just around the corner are wearables that are so intuitive that they learn over time and give actionable insights and feedback. Right now we're dealing with materials we don't even know the names for right now. So I'm going to let each of the panelists introduce themselves. They each have a little demo, a little show and tell they're going to give you. At the end of the show and tell, we're actually going to let you ask any questions that you would like for a couple of minutes, not too long. Insightful questions. Please keep your questions short and to the point and not give us a lot of background. So first we're going to start with Dr. Ishiro Amamori from Zenoma. And Dr. Ishiro has a little demonstration for us.
Yep. Okay, I'm Ichiro of Zenoma. We are a startup from the University of Tokyo, and we are making eSkin, which is a motion recognition sounds like the guy's wearing. And of course, I'm wearing eSkin. So let me show you some video.
Wearable devices.
Video, audio.
They serve various purposes for connecting people to the internet.
Yeah, thanks.
But putting on and connecting a lot of wearables is uncomfortable and cumbersome for the user. Here, Zenoma provides the solution. Zenoma is the first company to develop and manufacture printed circuit fabric, or PCF, using their stretchable electronics technologies. This product, called eSkin, is smart apparel that is comfortable to wear and connects a number of sensors and devices on a body using a single controller box. With eSkin, you can now improve your form for a variety of sports and activities. Control a game character using your whole body. Unobtrusively monitor the safety of infants and the elderly, and many more. The time is now when people will be able to interact with each other anytime, anywhere through the internet and their eSkin apparel. eSkin takes you to a new era of connectedness. With you anytime, anywhere, eSkin.
So what we want to try to do is to connect all the wearable devices on our body into just one device. So on chest, still big, but now we are trying to make it smaller. But this one contains battery, microcomputer, and Bluetooth. And all the sensors on the body is controlled by this one. And in this product, we have 14 strain gauges on the shirt, which is of course wearable. And what we can do is sports, gaming, healthcare, and industry, and many, many purposes. So actually now I'm wearing, and this smartphone is now game. So I can control this game character like that. So anyway, our core technology is to make the printed circuit fabric based on stretchable electronics technologies. So when you want to create a circuit on a fabric, so it has to be very stretched, very robust. So what we are trying to do is we are doing a 50% stretching test for 10,000 times, it's okay. Actually, only for the wirings, we are doing 100,000 times stretching tests, and it's still okay. And of course, it is machine washable. Otherwise, we cannot say this is wearable. Oh, shirt. So, and now, actually today in the booth, 44216, we are showing some other sensors like ECG or temperature sensor or pressure sensor or something like that. And now we're integrating all of them to make a multimodal sensor systems on the fabric. And this is just one of the example for the dementia patients. They cannot keep wearing the wristband type, the wearable, and they can take it off by themselves. But they are not going to take off their shirt, so they can keep wearing it. So that's why we need to make the sensor into the shirt, is what I'm thinking. So that's all my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Go there.
So next up we have Derek Luke from Interaxon.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Derek Luke, we are a company, Interaxon. You probably know us through Muse, is the brand that we sell our product with. You can buy it in Target, Best Buy, and Amazon. Despite the accent, you can tell from the accent I'm originally Scotland, but I have been in Canada for the last 20 years.
Here we go. Thank you.
an activation we did at Burning Man where people were controlling a 4-story tree using their mind and biosignals. What we're showing here is if you come down to our booth in Sands is I'll show you the glasses that we've brought out with a lot of sensors in it, where we can then give feedback to things like yoga posture or cadence while cycling, and again we can demonstrate that in full down in our booth. And what we've also done is we're taking our core technology and embedded it into VR experiences as well. And again, we can show you that if you come down to the booth. And this is basically, we work with a company called Microdose, where you can create experiences in 3D. And again, what we can take is the biosignals of both your mind and heart rate variability, and create it into that experience. Just quickly, the products is the one we launched right now is the headband. A lot of people, we're now expanding internationally with the headband. Sales are going well. We have the partnership. I'm quite happy to show people. I don't know if there's a camera to show quickly, but the whole thing about wearables is making it, I know I'm talking about wearables, but this is really just something people wear, and we can just stick it on.
Just waiting for that screen. Can we have HDMI, please?
Is first and foremost, for those that ski, the partnership is with Smith Optical. You probably wear the ski goggles if you go ski, a licensing deal with them. But the sensors are completely invisible. These are actually EEG sensors here, 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 and actually here. And we've also put in a lot of other sensors, altimeters, magnometers, 6-axis gyroscopes. So there's a lot of things you can get, but the whole premise here is it's a pair of glasses, it's fashionable, and therefore you're not trying to change a user paradigm. And again, I've got some transparent, we're not trying how we do it, so if you come and see later, I can show you that as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Did anyone else just kind of get calm when that video played? I did. I felt my temperature just go right down. All right, so next we have Yvonne, who's going to tell us about the Jacquard jacket.
What I find fascinating about textiles is the structure of textiles. It's the same to the structure of touchscreens, which we're using in everyday mobile devices and tablets. That means that if you just replace some of the threads in textile with conductive threads, you should be able to weave the textile, which can recognize a variety of simple touch gestures, just like any normal touch panel you have in a mobile phone. So if you can hide or weave interactivity and input devices into the materials, that will be the first step to making computers and computing invisibly integrated into the objects and materials and clothing. So this is exciting to me. The challenge of creating Jacquard yarn was to create yarn that is highly conductive and at the same time scalable, which means it could be used on industrial weaving machines everywhere in the world.
For textile designers or fashion designers or furniture designers, it is interesting because it's something you're very familiar with. It's just textile. We made the yarn very thin and feels so natural, so it looks like just normal yarn. The only thing that's different is it's conductive.
We're trying to shrink down all the components down to the size of a button. And ultimately, this will be something that's so small we can embed into the manufacturing process.
The idea that Jacquard is an interface that is blended into the clothing that we wear, that has an implication in the way that you would use services, products, applications, and anything that we do through our devices. It's somehow getting the technology out of the way and making interactions more natural and more seamless.
In terms of what the technology can do, it's really up to the user and to the designers, and we expect that users can reconfigure it as much as they want to. Software development and fashion design often don't exist in the same place, so we're hoping to make it very simple for each of those parties to collaborate, and we're hoping to provide both software and hardware knowledge and components to make those collaborations very easy.
We like to think that we have these iconic products that haven't changed much, but the world is changing. So I think Jacquard presents a great opportunity for a brand, for design, to open a door to the future.
I think one important difference from Project Jacquard, which we took in this project, is that we decided that we will not make our own wearable garments. So Google would not get into the business of making clothing. Instead, we wanted to create a platform, a set of components, both in software and hardware, which can empower brands and people who create clothing to introduce connectivity, interactivity, and digital sort of digital functions into their garments. So our first partner was Levi's, and we went through this very kind of long and discovery process where we started from developing our yarns through weaving techniques to working with their manufacturing supply chain and figuring out how we can merge this to supply chain so they can make this garment I'm wearing right now. They can make it on their factories, on their supply chain with their companies which make their denim, and then sell through their retail stores. So we are not trying to make their own garment. We try to make a platform which changes in apparel industry, and we're working now with other partners, with other brands, to try to help them to introduce this into the apparel. We started with very few sensors. Right now it's a touch sensors, and the use of this garment is it's a Levi's commuter jacket. They have a commuter line for people who bike. And the idea here is to add contextual interaction. When they're biking, they will be able to access some of the most important functionalities, such as navigation, calls, the control of their music or anything else while they're biking, while they're doing something else. We are exploring other use cases with other brands. Where else people are busy and doing something where the ambient, kind of invisible, and kind of on-the-back computing can be useful for them. That's what we are looking for. We want to grow our platform to include other types of sensors, not only woven textile
Yvonne,
sensors.
Thank you. I don't mean to cut you off. We're going to get
I'm
into
getting
that a little
kicked out.
bit later. No. We are going to get into that. The next use case is for everybody.
That's right.
But as we're talking about the smartest wearables in the room right now, and we have the eSkin and why haven't you ever corrected me? Ishiro and I have done 4 panels together, and I still pronounce the name of the company wrong. I say Zenoma, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sorry?
Zenoma? They said
Zenoma.
something else.
Yeah, company name
Okay.
is Zenoma, yeah.
Zenoma.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Zenoma, we've got Muse, a device that helps you meditate and brings down our calmness and helps us sleep, right? And then we have the Jacquard jacket, which is basically starting a whole new functionality as far as wearable tech manufacturing is concerned. So is anybody right now, after seeing the presentations, are we all up to speed, or would you like to ask 1 or 2 quick questions of our panelists?
Sorry, I was just wondering if you've thought about applications outside apparel, so weaving them into furniture or automotive or anywhere where you are using textiles that isn't just clothing or wearable. I know it's kind of beside the point, but I'm just curious.
And that question is to Yvonne?
For Jacquard.
Yes, we thought, of course. We had a lot of conversation with people who make pillows and furniture, and a lot of people from automotive industry coming. But we wanted to focus on something which we believe has the most impact on everyday people's lives. And things we wear, we just talked about it before meeting. Not everybody wears watch, not everybody wears smartwatch, but everybody wears t-shirt, a jacket, or pair of pants, hopefully. That's where we feel that it's going to be really strong impact on people's how people can interact with technology. What do you think?
Yeah, I think when you look at how you design, one of our philosophies is it has to be useful, right? So you have to start from that human-centric viewpoint of what value are you providing. And everything we do, we've got some really cool technology and we've got some really cool ideas, but if it's not useful to someone and brings benefit to them, then people aren't going to use it.
So actually, in terms of application at first, so the user has to have a pain or passion for using it. So that's why we are focusing on, not focusing on that. We are going to the one is a medical, because they have a pain, and the other is a gaming and sports. They have a passion. So that's why I'm choosing those applications.
Great. Yes.
All right.
Hi, since Google has a contact lens, and I'm just wondering, do you try to work integrated with any kind of medical or to be used for your textile or contact lens? I mean, your presentation is super focused on the more consumer side, but I'm just wondering, how do you apply your technologies to more medical field or wellness?
Project Jacquard right now is focusing on consumer applications. We don't see reasons why it wouldn't be applicable to the health and to well-being. We talk quite a bit with office clothing people makers and think about like office health and office well-being, how it can help people to become healthy, stay healthy while they are sitting most of the day. But that's, again, so this is probably the next step. We launched this product only three months ago. And we now in a learning process. So you can go and buy that, and we're trying to understand what's actually works, what actually doesn't work, and from there we go forward to other applications areas.
Yeah, we started off with the consumer product for helping people how to meditate. And that's the value add. If you believe in meditation, then the Muse headband will give you real-time feedback. But what we found is we now sell about 20% of our product to clinicians and health professionals. So typically these tend to be addiction clinics or eating disorder clinics, fertility clinics, places where they're prescribing meditation as part of the regime. And what we found is that pulled us into SaaS-based products. So we've now got a product out there for clinicians that basically, very simple paradigm, allows the clinician to verify that people are actually meditating. They're not watching TV, they're not sleeping, right? They can actually see on the dashboard what they're doing there. So, I think as we move forward, that medical side will become much, much more important to us.
As I said, I'm thinking about medical, but I'm not going forward to taking FD or something because we are a so small company. So now we are thinking to be some sort of a technology brand to supply to the big companies. Actually this year we announced the collaboration with Hugo Boss. We are going to something like B2B2C or B2B2B business. Yeah.
So your next, where do you see you going with your devices right now? Specifically, what platforms do you think that you're going to be looking for?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of our core performance at CEG, electroencephalogram, we're a bit worried about the industry in general, about some of the overstating of what it can do, right? We can't read your mind and we can't control machines, and we're really not going to get drawn into that. There's some things that it's very good with, and we now find ourselves the largest EEG manufacturer in the world, right? We're building hundreds of thousands of these units now. And where we're really now interested is the sensor fusion. So actually, if we take the glasses, all the additional function in collecting the data and building user paradigms where you're now connecting the head. No one seems to has a wearable that really goes on the head that sticks. So we decided to go for the glasses that a lot of people wear already. But what we're really interested in is that sensor fusion and how we can really relate, people's state of mind with their physical activity, or the glasses can measure heart rate as well. So what can we build with all that sensor fusion?
So now let me ask the three of you on this stage, between which company would you be most likely to partner with?
Well, we cannot talk that about it.
Well, Derek, do you see the Muse working with Ishiro's shirt? Or Ishiro, do you see your technology in Levi's functionality? And if so, how do you think those partnerships are important in moving innovation forward in wearables?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because Actually, of course, wearable market is already huge, like Fitbit, but like textile stuff or those kind of stuff is just a very early stage. So that I think it's not a time to compete, but it's a time to collaborate. And that's why we're trying to be a technology brand company. So of course, we can supply our technology to Google Jacquard, of course, and we can supply our technology to Muse. So Muse can make a hairband, I think, right? So yeah, of course, I think the collaboration is really, really possible and realistic, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I misunderstood your question initially. I think the wearable market, so we're kind of moving from, hopefully in the wearables, where we're coming from a single device which does everything to sort of like this ecosystem of devices which works together. And we would see, if the wearable market develops, we will see not one type of wearable, but multiple wearables, and the question will be how they work together. I can see glasses working with stretch sense shirt for the exercise, or glasses working with somebody who is wearing next version of Jacquard jacket in industrial use cases. So that's where I think direction is going there, but it will take time, I think, to grow the overall use case in industry, to build the critical mass of use cases.
Yeah, I mean, partnerships are a big part of our go-forward strategy. One thing we did very deliberately about 2 years ago is work on the efficacy of our product. It's one thing in any startup, people here really work on the efficacy from third-party peer reviews. Go to choosemuse.com/research. And the very fact that we've got that efficacy now, so we don't have to make any claims that are unrealistic, they're there. What we're actually finding is the partnership with Smith is a great partnership. We love working with them. But we are literally getting inundated now with large corporations that want to look at integrating our technology with what they're doing. And there's a lot of real great, in meditation, using the vest. One thing important about meditation is your breathing. And, there's some really great example of that. Or as we go into sports, we've got a great, all the motion sensors here on the head, but the motion sensors on the jacket for things like golfing. You can really start without really gearing someone up and telling them to put on lots of sensors. What you're now getting is some really useful paradigms that you can create that people will find useful. The challenge is we can't do everything. So, what we've just announced, there's our SDK. And what we'll do is we'll let the developers in the market, find these niches, and driven by passion or need, I think that will decide where it's going. I think having a defined view of something so broad, I think is probably a mistake at this time.
So where do you see yourselves in, well, let's talk consumer electronics, long-term range, 3 years. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
Okay, we're a 2-year company, so it's a bit hard to expect 3 years. But in 3 years, actually, we want to go to the. Actually, our final goal is to do the disease preventions. So if the more than 50% is wearing e-skin, they can be monitored, and we can get the huge biosignal data. And yeah, we are going to do that kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 months we'll be available in German, French, and Spanish, so that's good that plug out the way.
That's pretty long term.
In terms of 3 years, when I speak to our research department, what they're really interested about is, without going too technical, we've figured out to do something called evoke potentials, event-related potentials, which is normally done on equipment costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we can do it at a very low BOM. And what that allows you to actually do is actually start looking meaningfully at what people are thinking or how they react to stimulus. And what becomes really exciting is the integration into VR, because what you've got is the stimulus through the VR, which you can measure, and then you can correct the evoked potentials from the sensors, as well as all the other sensors like heart rate variability. So one of the big things that we're really excited about is the VR applications, both in behavioral science and in gaming. And then we're also interested in the predictive analytics from collecting that data. What useful things can we do from the data we're collecting?
I think I can talk about our aspirations. I don't really know what's going to happen in 3 years. So we hope that in 3 years, the digital components as a part of the garments will become just as ubiquitous as zippers and buttons, and it stopped being kind of a differentiating factor. It stopped being wearable. People stopped thinking about it as a wearable. it's going to become just like as common thing as everything. And the focus would shift from electronics and consumer electronics to becoming just a piece of apparel and on the use cases and new applications and new ways to use it. It's a hope.
Thank you, gentlemen. And please join me in thanking our panelists. They will be available for questions, or if you want more information, you can check them out on our website and in the CES directory. Thank you so much.
Thank you.